Have you ever said something and been completely misunderstood? You know exactly what it was that you said, but the way people took it was not at all the way that you intended. So if you go to a search bar and you type in nonverbal communication, you're going to find anywhere between 73% to people saying it's 93, 94% of our conversation. The impact of our conversation is in the nonverbal. How we shape, speak, use our voice, how we move. And that, the other way to say that, if you flip that on its side, is that the impact of our words is worth about 7%, 15%, 20%. So the words we choose are not that important. How we say what we say, incredibly important. So let me demonstrate. I'm going to use a sentence, I need the report by Monday. I'm going to say it a bunch of different ways. I need the report by Monday. I need the report by Monday. Psst. I need the report by Monday. I need the report by Monday. I need the report by Monday. Each time I use the same sentence, but the impact, I hope you noticed, changed every time I said it. So what's more important when we speak is, are we facing people? Are we distracted on an iPhone? Are we leaning back with our arms folded, trying to convince people, oh, I've got plenty of time for you? Are we going, yeah, this is really exciting. I am really interested in what you've got to say. Tell me more. So how we do this is way more important than what we say. So back when we used the sentence of, I need the report by Monday, it was actually something that came to me through one of my work assignments. HR had called me and said that somebody wanted to quit the company, and could I please step in and see if there was something that could be done before we lost a performer, a talented performer. And when I got there, there was a woman who was crying and really upset. She said, he was aggressive to me, and he yelled at me, and that was what her story was. And I said, that sounds really strange because I know this guy. And I went down to his office and he was all upset. He's like, I don't know what's going on. And I said, so buddy, what happened? And he went, all I said was, I need the report by Monday, which opened up a really interesting conversation. So it turns out that he was in a negotiating meeting trying to sell the company. He had said, my company's worth this much. The opposing team said, oh, no, your company's worth this much. And he said, but we've done this much work. And they said, we haven't seen it. And he said, I'll get that for you. And he marched out of that meeting on fire, and he went down to this woman's office who was the head of supply chain. And he said, I need that report now. She goes, I don't have it. I'm sorry. And she was really flustered. And it was Friday afternoon, and he was really upset. He saw that she was getting upset, and he said, okay, I need the report by Monday. And in his mind, he was giving her all weekend to get the reports ready. But the way it came across to her is that she was sitting, he was standing, and he was being emphatic.
I need the report by Monday.
And to her, that was an assault on her senses. Once we got this out in the open, she understood what had happened, and he understood, and she was a very forgiving soul, and he was a very committed learner. And he said, okay, so what do I do? And I said, all right, well, let's just set up a little place outside your desk where there's two chairs facing each other. And anytime you have to have a conversation with somebody, use the chairs. Don't keep a desk in between you, a big mahogany brass edged power statement between you and somebody else. Come over here and sit in chairs. and both of you at the same height. And he called me in a week later and he said, you know, you've been doing some great work. I've gotten some really good ideas. The mood is really different. And I'm really excited that you're here. And I said, well, that's great, but I have to let you know I haven't worked with anybody yet. You know, the first thing I had to do was to interview you and come into what we're doing here. And so the team hasn't been touched yet. The only thing that's different is you've been using the desk. And he went, oh my, all of that shift happened because I kept my butt in a chair. And then he kind of figured it out. He said, when I go to the meetings, I can see it now. I walk in and I go, hey, where's my stuff? I want the good stuff. I hired good people. I'm paying you good money. I want some stuff. Where is it? Where are the plans? Where are the designs? Where are we going next? Huh? Anybody? Anybody got ideas? What? No ideas? And he said, I'm filling the space up with me. And there's no room for them to respond. And my butt in a chair, it makes me listen differently, and I'm not filling the space up with me because I'm listening. So that was a really wonderful point in our coaching, because that was the start of me working with them in several different areas, which were truly, truly wonderful. But it all came from that miscommunication. I need the report on Monday. Okay, that's what you said, but how do you think they took it? All right, so if this is interesting to you, we'll be doing another step where we're going to give you some instructions and some pointers on different ways to give a message. As you saw from the last story, just simply saying I need the report by Monday can cause a lot of havoc. And so I'm going to give you some ways that you can begin to practice different ways of speaking. Now, raise your hand. Everybody, I see you. Nope. There you go. Raise your hand. All right. I promise to never think that there is a right way to speak. Got it? There is no right way to do this. There's only the right way for a given situation. So you can't learn a technique and go, I know the right way now to do this. So these are just different tools. Think of it that way. The first one, the way he was speaking was in a way that had a lot of effort. So there's a lot of forward movement. And in forward movement thinking, forward movement speaking, you have a message that needs to get out. And when we want it out, we say, I promise to be there. I need the report by Monday. I think that's amazing. And you can feel the message is intended to land on someone else. So if we think about it, one way to do it is by efforting, pushing, right? That's exactly what I want to see. I need the report by Monday. Okay, another way we can do that is instead of taking what's inside here and sending it out, we can soften. Now I'm going to pretend I'm in a lounge chair on a beach. So you sit in the chair and you lean back and you kind of fold your hands and you go, oh. And you imagine the sunset and a Mai Tai and a chaise lounge, and you just relax. And then you say, I need the report by Monday. And you start at a higher note, right? You use your prosody in your voice. You say, I need the report by Monday. And if you listen to the way I say it, da 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 da, you can feel there's a relaxation to it. So we open, we're relaxed. You don't need to use this position, but you definitely want to feel like you're in this position. And you say, I need the report by Monday. Then you drop your voice down. So that's another way to do it. It's a really good thing to do for listening. If you've been told that you don't listen, that's a great technique. And if you don't think you've ever been told that you don't listen, I think probably you weren't listening. Okay? That's everybody doesn't listen. We all need to get better at that one. Another way to say the same sentence is to be solid and heavy. And in martial arts, we think about this as a horse stance. Down, feet wide, solid, grounded. And now, instead of using inflection tone like I need the report by, or a lilting, I need the report by, we can keep it steady in a lower tone, take our focus down, be stable and heavy, and say, I need the report by Monday. Some cases, this is a really good stance for stability, right? For doing this, because it basically says I'm heavy, I'm not going to be moved. I'm happy to listen, but this is the way things are going to be. I need the report by Monday. And you can feel there's a solemnness to it, a gravitas. This is just what's there. I need the report by Monday. It's a tone, flat tone. Another way to do it, this will be 4 good ones that we can play with, is thinking of opening up a can of 7-Up or Sprite, and it goes psst, and all the bubbles shoot up. Well, that's kind of what this one feels like. There's energy that pops up, your eyes are bright, there's some upward movement in your face, and there's a lilt. It's kind of a sing-song thing, and you say something to the effect of, I need the report by Monday. Yeah, I need the report by Monday. There's a lightness, there's movement, there's upward energy, there's happy, not necessarily happy, but non-serious. Gravitas, I need the report by Monday. Here, it's lightness, right? There's irreverence. I need the report by Monday. So those are 4 ways we can speak. Now, remember when I said promise that there's not a right way to speak? For every given situation, there is a right way to speak. So if you can find somebody to work with, take this practice of different ways of speaking and use them. Literally stand in front of them and say, here, let me practice a couple of sentences with you. And each time you do it, watch how it lands on them and ask them, how did it land? Which one sounds more believable? Of those 4 stances, one of them is going to be really easy. No, I need it now. I've done this my whole life. I'm really good at it. I need it now. Somebody else might be really good at going, I need it now. From a very soft, loving space. So we're really good at one or the other, one of these 4 or 5, we're really good at a certain way. And when you find one that's like fingernails on a chalkboard, I can't do that. There's value for you here. So if you think about going light or relaxed and listening, and you go, I can't do that. I've got to get things done. I don't have time to slow down. You have all the reasons not to do it. That's the one that's going to be most valuable to you. So whichever one of these you start to practice, make sure that you don't just work on one, you work on all of them. And when you start to move through them, check your impact. Because your impact is where everything, it's where the rubber meets the road. You need to have impact. So I don't care what you wanted the impact message to be. I don't care how you wanted to sound. I only care how it lands on the people that you spoke to. Did it land the way you intended? And when it does, we're beginning to get pretty powerful. And this kind of power is the ability to create an intentional future, because I can have an idea and I can put it out in the world in a way that it's accepted. So this is just some pieces on communication. We'll do some more. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you like it, hit that subscribe button. All right, thanks.